Hello and welcome. Today's adventure brings me to downtown Columbus, Ohio, and today we are taking a walk through history about 60, 70, 80 million years ago. Today we are at Cosi, the center of science industries, and today we're here for two reasons. If you love dinosaurs, you're in the right place because Cosi here has some really cool dinosaur exhibits. One, they just opened earlier this month called T.REX, the ultimate predator. Today we're going to check out both exhibits, so I don't know who or what we'll run into. We're going to pretty much have a dinosaur-filled day today. So join me as we go into Cosi here and check out both dinosaur exhibits. Although Cosi does have a whole bunch of other exhibits throughout their building, we're checking out only the dinosaurs. So just outside of the front entrance here, right alongside the American Museum of Natural History, we have some sculptures. We're gonna take a quick walk over here. This is called the Dinosaur Sculpture Garden. The artist is Dan Macaulay, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. He credits his grandfather for sparking his passion for metalworking, and he hopes to inspire the passion in others. He has been working in metal all of his life, and we're gonna take a quick walk around and check out the dinosaur garden here. You got a Triceratops right there. There's a little board here that's got Triceratops. It says Triceratops lived during the late Cretaceous period more than 66 million years ago. It used its horns to attract mates. Macaulay welded these parts together in snow and freezing temperatures over 3 days in January. There's also a Tyrannosaurus Rex over here that he has sculpted. This is Macaulay's first large sculpture, inspired by the fossil skeleton of Sue, one of the largest and most complete T.REX specimens ever discovered. He spent a year hunting through the scrapyard for the parts to build it. So right there is the Triceratops. Right over here is the mean T.REX. That's really cool. Pretty decent size too. And I think we have some other dinosaurs over here on this side too. Let's go check out the sign and see what they are. Walk around here. We have a Stegosaurus. Unlike the other dinosaurs represented here, the Stegosaurus lived during the late Jurassic period, more than 150 million years ago. Macaulay created this sculpture at Cosi in June of 2016, and there's also a Velociraptor here. The Velociraptor had feathers. Paleontologists discovered quill knobs where feathers attached to the bone on a well-preserved Velociraptor in 2007. Macaulay envisioned how the pieces of this and his other sculptures would fit together before he began assembling them. So, this right here is the Stegosaurus. Really cool. And over here is the ferocious Velociraptor. So, there's a few dinosaurs out here that you can come and visit before you head inside, or once you're done inside. So, really cool little area for dinosaur lovers. And I could probably tell you that the guy that created these sculptures had to be a Jurassic Park fan, because these are the most well-known dinosaurs that were in the film. The old T-Rex there. I did not purchase my tickets online, so I'm gonna have to go in and purchase them at the front desk. So let's go in and check it out. The doors just opened, so I'm hoping it's not too crazy busy in there, but we'll make it work. I like how there's dinosaur footprints going all the way up to the admission table. All right, so I got my wristband on. Now we can go walk around. Let's go check out the dinosaur exhibits. Just inside the entrance here, they have a wall to the right. It's got a Brachiosaurus on it, or so it seems. The American Museum of Natural History, the Dinosaur Gallery. That's the one that we are going to start off with. It is right over here to the right. And Cosi does have a museum store, and we will check that out right after we go through both galleries. But check this out. This is the wall. Got T.REX right here, some dinosaurs. We got some birds up on the ceiling there, hanging from the ceiling. And the dinosaur gallery is right over here to the right. Let's go in, see some cool stuff. Starting off here, there is a little bit of a description. It says, imagine the thrill of discovering something brand new about a creature that lived millions of years ago. And it just kind of goes in to new fossils are being discovered, and just kind of a little overview of what this whole exhibit is about. But check out the wall right here. Got a velociraptor on it. Oh, that's cool. So here we have the leg bone of a, I'm probably gonna murder how to pronounce this, but a Daspletosaurus. It's a femur, and it lived during the late Cretaceous 83.5 to 70.6 million years ago in Alberta, Canada. But it says, if you look here, you can see where the muscles attached, and it stalked what is now the Western North America. A well-preserved fossil bone like this one can help us learn not just how an animal was built, but how it may have behaved. So this is where the muscles attach to the bone. And it's pretty decent size. And of course, right here by the front entrance is the T.REX. We're going to read about it here in just a minute, but we're going to take a quick walk around and show you this thing. This thing is literally going all the way over the wall. That is crazy. This board here says the ostrich and a T.REX skeletons look quite similar. This isn't surprising though, because both T.REX and all birds arose from a common ancestor. But are they alike in other ways? Ostriches can run up to 75 kilometers or 45 miles per hour. But the biggest ostrich weighs only about 160 kilograms or 350 pounds. Compare that with 8,000 kilograms or more over 17,000 pounds. Today, the fastest animals tend to weigh 100 kilograms or 220 pounds or less. An extinct animal 50 times that size was probably not as fast as an ostrich. So, an early theropod and an ostrich. I love how they're playing Jurassic Park clips in here next to the T.REX. And they're just talking about how fast it can run and stuff like that. This says, designing a dinosaur. The T.REX is often shown in its great legs in a crouch. But was that a typical pose? Some biomechanical scientists doubted. Their research shows that when large living mammals, elephants, hippos, rhinos, humans, lock their legs into an upright position, standing takes less energy. As the scale model illustrates, the T.REX may have been rather straight-legged too. So here's a little model of it walking, and here is this model of it walking as well. I like how there's claw marks on it. That's cool. So this here is an Apatosaurus. It's a steel and fiberglass. It's not a 150 million year old bone. Yet it isn't a sculpture or even an exact copy of the ancient skeleton. Instead, it's a three-dimensional version of a digital Apatosaurus, created by a software program. Okay, let's see. Scientists use computer models based on the shape of the animal's bones and how they fit together to predict its range and motion. Okay, here's how to pronounce it. Apatosaurus, that makes sense. Luizii. Okay, I'm terrible with pronouncing these. Let's see. It is hard to determine flexibility and movement from handling the bones. The way the vertebrae fit together is complicated. And with 15 vertebrae in total, small mistakes in positioning could really add up. Cool. So the size of this thing was 72 to 80 feet in length, 30 feet in height, and it weighed 18 to 30 tons. And check this thing out. This is the tail of it. And there's the nose. So it's pretty big. So right here it says these vertebrae, which sat about midway down the neck of the Apatosaurus, are now heavy, but before being fossilized, they are remarkably light for size. Like the bones of modern birds, these vertebrae were thin-wallowed and hollow, and another similarity to bird bones. And to modern airplane wings, a network of internal struts provide reinforcement. So that's what it would have looked like. And these are what they actually look like. So this would have been in the Apatosaurus's neck. Wild, right? All right, so right here we have the bone, which is called the ulna, a part of the foreleg of the Apatosaurus. It is a cast of the original bone, which is about 150 million years old, so obviously it's not real. The bumpy surface on the end was once covered in tissue called cartilage, the same substance that makes up the tip of your nose, so that's crazy. The cartilage formed a cushion between the dinosaur's foreleg and the bones of its front foot, so it says we can touch it. So right here is where the cartilage would have been. Crazy that it's a casting of the original bone. So right here we have the thigh bone and or femur of a titanosaur. This massive femur once helped support the rear end of a long-necked plant-eating dinosaur called a titanosaur. By measuring this bone and the upper arm bone, experts estimate that the creature weighed around 70 tons. Sheesh! From tip to tail, the newly discovered animal stretched about 122 feet. And it was in the early Cretaceous period, about 102 million years ago, found in Argentina. That is a huge bone. Right here is a foot bone. It says this is a toe bone and toe claw of a long-necked plant-eating dinosaur called the Apatosaurus. These immense animals walked on their sturdy digits. In other words, they were on tiptoe. So you can actually touch a fossil here. That's crazy. This board here says, in the 1830s, builders in Greenfield, Massachusetts were ready to use a slab of sandstone when one of them noticed tracks in the rock surface. He brought the slab to a local doctor and naturalist, James Dean. He began collecting and classifying trackway specimens like the one displayed here. Dean's curiosity about the track marker launched a scientific study of fossil footprints, but decades would pass before the prints were attributed to extinct dinosaurs. So this is what would have looked like. You see all the teeny tiny feet print there that look like bird tracks. This board here talks about footprints. The foot of a small carnivorous dinosaur resembles that of a modern turkey except for the first digit, and us, the big toe. In modern birds, the toe faces backward, and some living birds can perch. In dinosaurs such as Dilophosaurus, it faces forward but is short that it doesn't touch the ground on firm surfaces. This makes some bird and extinct dinosaur prints hard to tell apart. The Dilophosaurus is 6 to 10 feet in length, weighs about 100 pounds, and it eats small reptiles and fish, and it lived about 215 million years ago. So that's what the foot would have looked like. So this display shows different versions of feet print. A theropod, meaning 3, has 3 points on the foot. We have a ornithopod, we have a sauropod. So we're looking for the pink footprints. As you can see, they're purple, yellow, orange, and then we should be getting, yeah, right there. A couple of them up there. Here we have the dome skull of one of those dinosaurs that was in The Lost World Jurassic Park 2. It says the dome-headed dinosaurs had large rounded heads thanks to a thick layer of bone. And it lived late Cretaceous 99.6 to 66.5 million years ago in Magnolia. This is what it looks like. That's wild. So displayed here is a cast of a footprint of a Tyrannosaurus rex discovered in the 1980s by a geologist doing a mapping survey in the northeastern New Mexico. It is the largest footprint of a meat-eating dinosaur ever found. The original was what track experts call a negative. That is, it was formed by the sediment that filled the depression left by dinosaur's foot. So this is the footprint casting of a T.REX. Fossil footprints confirm that theropods had narrow bodies and kept their feet close to the midline as they walked the way we do. Had their feet been widely spaced, the animals have tended to topple sideways at each step, and we would see this movement in their footprints. The slightly pigeon-toed stance of some theropods adds stability. So these are just a couple displays here. You can see the little feet print. Each one has 3. A couple up there, a couple over here, and they have outlined the ones in this one. So everybody loves the Triceratops, right? It lived the late Cretaceous period, 70.6 to 65.5 million years ago in the western USA. This is a cast of the American Museum of Natural History. So obviously it's not the real thing. It is a casting of the real thing. And we got some skull comparisons here. This one is 84.7 million years ago, found in Alberta, Canada. It's a smaller version, obviously. Kind of got like the spikes. And this one here, 72 to 66 million years ago in the western USA. You see it's got the backing to it. So different versions of the Triceratops skulls here. Castings, of course. This is the Styracosaurus. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. This is found in the collection of the Canadian Museum of Nature. So, and here we have another touch a fossil. Touch this Triceratops horn and you're touching fossilized remains of what was once living bone. When this animal lived more than 65 million years ago, this bone was covered in a material very similar to that in human fingernails. Woo. So we're gonna touch this. It feels really smooth, but really cool that I'm touching a fossil. And here is the beak of a Psittacosaurus Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of these. Let's see, it lived 145.5 to 99.6 million years ago in Magnolia. So it's just a little guy.
Dinosaurs have
It's about 4 feet in length and about 2 feet in height, and that's what it would have looked like. But here is the beak of one.
Large crests and horns.
Here is the skull of a baby Protoceratops. It says, at a few months of age, Protoceratops was no bigger than a small cat. These animals reached full size at around 13 years of age. Scientists have found fossils of Protoceratops ranging in age from embryos to senescent adults. It was around 7 feet in length, 3 feet in height, and weighed about 400 pounds. So as you can see, that's what it would have looked like. The Anchiceratops had 3 horns, but only 2 horns are visible on this partial skull. The third horn was located on its nose. How do we know this 3-horned dinosaur isn't a Triceratops? The 2 dinosaurs can be distinguished by the curvature of their horns. So as you can see, there are 2 horns, and the third one would have been on the nose. Pentaceratops skull, late Cretaceous, 70.6 to 65.5 million years ago in New Mexico. Oof, that's wild. Before we read each one of these displays here, I just want to show you what they look like in their cases, all grouped together. Let's go over here and start with this one. Centrosaurus, late Cretaceous, 83.5 to 70.6 million years ago in Alberta, Canada. This is a cast, of course. It's got the horn there. We're gonna move over here. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but this guy here, late Cretaceous, 83.5 to 70.6 million years ago in Montana. This original specimen is found in the collection of the Museum of the Rockies. Casting, of course. Here we have Ankylosaurus, late Cretaceous, 83.5 to 65.5 million years ago. Also found in the collection of the Museum of the Rockies. Casting, of course. So this is a really cool display right here. I really like this one. I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this. Pachycephalosaurus. Okay. It measured about 26 feet in length, 20 feet in height, and about 6,600 pounds. And it's got one of those well-rounded dome-shaped skulls in comparison to a bighorn sheep skull as well. So that's what it looks sort of in comparison. And here we have another touch a fossil. The Ankylosaurus may have used their large tail clubs as display structures rather than as defense weapons to fight out predators like the Tyrannosaurus. So give that a touch. That's really, really rough, but cool. And here in the same case is a couple tail spikes from the Stegosaurus. There's one there, one there, and the spikes right there belonged to this guy, and also this as well. Lambeosaurus, 99.6 to 65.5 million years ago. The original specimen is found on the collection of Royal Ontario Museum. So, casting, again, of course. And then over here, that might look familiar because these were in Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. It is a Parasaurolophus, I think. I mean, it's got the display down here, what it is. 99.6 to 65.5 million years ago in Alberta, Canada. So Canada so far is the ruler with dinosaur fossils. It's the entire wall here. Here is the casting of the skeleton of the Campanian-Maastrichtian that looks like a triceratops. Notice the large holes in its head frill. The holes in the frills are a clue to scientists that these structures were not used for defense. So, this is what it would have looked like.
New techniques such as CT scanning allow us to do something.
Here's the casting of a Stegosaurus found in the late Jurassic period, 150.8 to 145.5 million years ago, found in Wyoming. This cast is found in the American Museum of Natural History. So this is the casting of what it looks like. I'm gonna check out the tail there. See the spikes on it? That's wild, crazy. I'm not gonna go through each one of these individually, but they do have this display here that has scenes of dinosaurs set up, eating and whatnot. We got fish down there, we got a turtle. Cicadas too, apparently. So there are information boards in this section, and there would be just too much time going over all these animals individually, but the display right here is actually really cool. So this is chaos in the Cretaceous. Says, you've probably heard how dinosaurs went extinct. They all died on a terrible day about 65 million years ago when a huge object from outer space, a comet or asteroid, slammed into Earth. The impact definitely happened, but the story isn't that simple. And then it just goes on to talk about the T.REX. But if you look closely, without a shadow here maybe, we have a T.REX claw. They don't know the date of it. And then a Placentasaurus. Okay. This is a lower jaw of a Tyrannosaurus rex, late Cretaceous, found in Montana, a cast of the lower jaw. Woo! Look at that thing. That's crazy. Here is a cast of Ankylosaurus skull, found in Alberta, Canada. Casting, of course. Over here is a Camarasaurus skull, the late Jurassic, 155 to 145 million years ago. Cast of unknown specimen in North America. So, cool. This is a shell, Mantilosaurus, found in North Africa. This is an original specimen, so that's actually real. And then Anotitan skull, 70.6 to 65 million years ago in South Dakota. And it's a casting. This wall here just sort of talks about the different fish, snakes, and reptiles that have survived since then and or evolved, and then the fact that birds are a huge ancestor of the dinosaurs. So that's all this really is. This here is a new species called the Bambi raptor. It's about 30 inches in length, 12 inches in height, and weighed about 4 to 4.5 pounds. It ate small mammals and reptiles, and it lived 75 million years ago. Casting. So raptors weren't all that big, especially these ones. Here we have a case of eggs. Let's see, a herring gull. Start off at the top row. Herring gull, American crow, and a common loon. Second row, common nighthawk, tinamou, great horned owl, and a northern mockingbird. Third row, peregrine falcon, a murre, and a fossil bird egg. Next row, getting into the bigger ones, an emperor penguin, and then an ostrich egg. 13, down there the little ones, ruby-throated hummingbird, white-breasted nuthatch, a house wren, gray catbird, and then the elephant bird and an emu down here at the bottom. So there's different kind of eggs from different kind of animals. This here is a greater rhea. This large flightless bird belongs to a group called the ratatites, an ancient lineage. The largest bird in the Americas. Male rheas incubate the eggs laid by females with whom they have mated. They defend the chicks for 4 to 6 months after hatching. So that's what it looks like. And down here is a little baby one. It's so cute. As much as I hate crocodiles, they have a crocodile display of a nest here. And that's what it looks like. I'm not terrified of alligators, but I cannot stand crocodiles. Weird, right? There's a little interactive experience here called Whose Egg Is It Anyway? And you just move the pictures of these eggs and it tells you what they are. That's an ostrich egg. This is southern cassowary, so on and so forth. Here is a young alligator. Recently, scientists were stunned to find that the living crocodiles and alligators have one-way breathing systems like those of birds. Experts had long those such lungs evolved along with flight. So, kinda correlates. This is a savanna monitor. And down here is a green iguana. And they're saying that the heart and the lungs would have evolved into super lungs dating back to 150 million years ago. So in this case here, we have Sid and Nancy. These animals are nearly identical. Scientists suspect that the specimen on the left is a male based on the presence of large structures beneath its tail that have a triangular spearhead shape. Those structures are smaller in the animal on the right and lack the triangular or chevron shape. So we got Sid, we got Nancy here. That's what they would have looked like. This display here is all about wishbones. It says if you've ever snapped a wishbone at Thanksgiving, you've held a furcula in your hand. What's more, that V or U-shaped bone is a combined version of two other familiar bones, collarbones and clavicles. Once thought unique to birds, wishbones started turning up in some bipedal non-bird dinosaurs, theropods, almost as soon as scientists started looking. So we have a case of wishbones here. Check these out. We'll do the top row. An Indian peafowl, wood stork, great blue heron, Canadian goose. Or number 5, red-tailed hawk, and this big one here in the center is a wishbone of a Tyrannosaurus rex. Number 7, razorbill. Number 8, northern gannet, a fish cow, American flamingo, great horned owl, Laysan albatross, and then the last two, 13 and 14, secretary bird and a great cormorant. And 15 and 16 down here is a Velociraptor facula. So it is right there. And then that of a barn owl. But I do like the giant T-Rex they have on the wall here. It definitely brings in the attention. And it's the biggest one in the case too. This is, if you had to guess, you'd imagine this long-clawed animal was truly a ferocious predator, but no, it was a plant eater. You are looking at a Dinosaur. There's a group of feathered theropods famous for their claw size, and they also had hollow bones and feathers, traits that originated in theropod dinosaurs, but are today found in birds. It's a rather strange looking bird. Imagine one of these running around these days. So right there in that little jar is an embryo of an alligator. And then down here is an alligator skull. Then we have early dinosaur skulls. Juvenile is very different from an adult. Juvenile on the top, adult on the bottom. This is non-bird dinosaur skulls, juvenile. Very similar than the adult. And then a chicken embryo on the top, and then an adult chicken skull on the bottom. So the ones in the jars are really creepy. So this case here just talks about the similarities between an emu and an ostrich. Take a look at these legs. Ostrich legs do in fact look like straight up dinosaur legs. The emus, not so much. All right, now we're getting into somewhere really cool. The Velociraptor area. They have a shot from Jurassic Park 3. We have Alan Grant there. Let's see what it says about the movie. Surprised that Velociraptor is so small in Jurassic Park 3. The look and behavior of the now famous predators was based on Deinonychus, a much larger and more terrifying creature, but the name Velociraptor was more dramatic and easier to say. A star was born. So I would hate to burst your bubble in thinking that the Velociraptors stood between 6 and 7 feet tall. But no, Velociraptors were only about 3 to 4 feet tall and about 5 feet long. And they were about the size of a turkey. So in the first Jurassic Park, when the kid's like, it's more like a 6-foot turkey, that's basically what he means. So he's technically not wrong. So, and they're saying that some Velociraptors did have feathers, as you can see. They have some displays here. And these are just some little dinosaurs here. But I want to take a look at this big furry thingy here, whatever this is. I'm trying to find a display. Okay, so I found it. More feathers in the T.REX family. The Tyrannosaurus is one of the largest feathered dinosaurs discovered to date. But it's not only the T.REX relative found with feathers. In 2004, Chinese and American Museum of Natural History scientists described the animal Dilong paradoxus, a small feathered member of the Tyrannosaurus family. So they're saying that the T.REX could very well have possibly had feathers. So here is a little display of a Messalornis cristata, basically like a little teeny bird, and it had full body feathers to it. You can see the outline, the dark circles around it. That's where the feathers would have been. Also over here, the feather imprints, the darker circles around this Lithornithidae. But down here they have a little thing where you can touch crocodile scales. Weird. This is a little interactive experience where you can put things and it will come up there on the screen telling you if the animal will fly or not. So you remember in the first Jurassic Park where they find the mosquito thing in the sap? These are kind of the same thing. That's a leafy shoot on the left, a small lizard in the center, and a leafy shoot on the right. And there's a couple displays here. There's a fly, a spider, you can kind of see it, and a cricket. So we got those, and then over here in this case is a large feather in Burmese amber, two feathers in Burmese amber in the center, and a large feather in Burmese amber on the right. All about 100 million years ago. So that's really cool. Right there is the exit to the dinosaur exhibit, and now we're gonna go down the hall for the now open T.REX, the Ultimate Predator exhibit, November 2nd through March 2nd. This ought to be good. On both sides of the hallway here, they have a thing called Jurassic art, where people have come up with different arts, drawings and stuff of the T.REX. We're just gonna kind of skim over them briefly. But Dana, I've evolved. That's cool. That's like a comic strip right there. Very cool. The stuff nightmares are made of. T.REX looking in your window. I like this one. Welcome to the circus. We got this little cartoon one right here. T.REX with some glasses. T.REX art. How do you work this thing? It's holding a phone. Oh, that is awesome. I would totally put that in my house. That's made out of cardboard. Wow, really cool. Some more drawings here. We'll check out the left side now. This one's really interesting. A nuclear war, global extinction. Has humanity been doomed to the same fate as the T.REX? This one's got little T.REXes on the back and the water of another T.REX watching this little guy up here. We'll make our way down this way. That one's really cool. Really colorful. Ooh, that's scary. It's like a mechanical T.REX. T.REX being rode at the county fair. All right. T.REX and a dog. T.REX right there. Let's go in and check it out. I like how there's feet prints on the floor. This is an all T.REX exhibit. Let's go over here. Watch me grow. A 1-year-old T-Rex would gain more than 5 tons in just 20 years. You'll see it grow throughout the show. So it's like a little baby T-Rex. Not what I had imagined, but cool though. In this case here, it says extra fingers. These fingers were part of the original T-Rex display. One appeared on the right hand, the other on the left. At the time, T-Rex was thought to have 3 claws on each hand, but was later found to have just 2, and the extras were removed. I'm not even gonna pronounce this, but this specific dinosaur had a long, narrow head like the other early Tyrannosaurs. Also has features common in later species, such as modified neck bones that could support a larger head. This here's a survival challenge. You are a small tyrannosaur named Dilong. You find a carcass and begin to eat it. A large Tyrannosaurus shows up to steal your meal. What do you do? And it gives you 3 options here. This one says run away, live to eat another day. This one says move a short distance away and wait patiently, stand your ground and roar defiantly. This was your find. Well, I'm a small dinosaur, so obviously I'm not gonna stand a chance. So I'll probably just do run away. Said you find some small lizards to gobble up. You may not be big, but you're fast. Why not focus on your strengths? So this here is a 3D print of the Proceratosaurus. It says most of the crest is now missing, so this reconstruction is based on a related crested Tyrannosaur quadlog. Hollow spaces inside the crest suggest it was lightweight and fragile. So that's a 3D print. So in case you're unaware, the Tyrannosaurus Rex means Tyrant Lizard King. So this display here just talks about the evolution of the T-Rex, starting right here and how it evolved into different tyrannosaurs. And then right here is where it ends. Which one of these is a tyrannosaur? They all are. This here is a 3D print of a toe bone of an adult Tyrannosaurus Rex. It said a core responds to a small bone in your toe called a phalanx, but Tyrannosaurs only have 3 main toes and they end in large claws. So this would have been here. Also, they have a thigh bone on display, which would have been right here and is the equivalent to a human femur. And you can actually touch this. It's a casting, but this is what a T-Rex thigh bone femur would have looked like. We have another survival challenge here. It says you are a T-Rex hatchling. Your parents are away from the nest. While they're away, what do you do? It gives you 3 options. You bravely explore the surrounding creek, you chase insects, or you wait patiently in the nest. We'll do this one. You are the first hatchling to be fed. It pays to be cautious when you're small, but eventually you'll need to learn to hunt. We got some T-Rex family members on display here. Just kind of go around and show you what they look like. It's weird to think that the T-Rex could very well have possibly had feathers. After all these years of watching the Jurassic Park movies, I feel like I've been lied to. So I'm almost positive that that is a casting right there of a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull. Says T-Rex had some of the largest eyes of any land animal. The eyes faced forward like a hawk and were set wider apart than most other dinosaurs, giving it superb depth perception. Wow, I guess you could technically say death in this section, this area. I just noticed here on the wall next to the entrance, they have a shadow being cast of a T-Rex right here. That is really cool. So that little plaque right there says this is what a T-Rex would have looked like at age 4. So it's gotten quite bigger over the last 4 years. This right here is the 3D print of a fossilized T-Rex vertebrae that was described in 1892, making it the first confirmed Tyrannosaurus Rex discovery ever. And then down here sort of talks about how let's see, the discovery of a new species of Tyrannosaurus Rex based on a skull uncovered in Hell Creek, Montana by legendary fossil hunter Barnum Brown. The new dinosaur made headlines. Brown and his team found a total of 3 T-Rex fossils in the early 1900s, including 2 nearly complete skeletons. And then over here we get into a more cooler section. It says, standing tall, the original tripod pose for a T-Rex would have looked like this, right? So, while standing erect, it was supported by the tail and is familiar from the movies such as Godzilla. But it's wrong. No footprints have ever been discovered with a tail dragging behind it, and biomechanical studies indicate that the animal's tail was held straight back to counterbalance the massive head and torso. So it really looked like this, not standing straight up like Godzilla. And then right here, strike a pose. More than 100 years after its discovery, T-Rex remains a star, but in modern movies such as Jurassic Park, featured right there, the beast is depicted with its backbone and tail parallel to the ground. Sweet. All right, so I'm gonna go handheld now because my gimbal just died, so I apologize if it's a little shaky from here on out. I'm doing this all with my hand. But right there is another T-Rex skull. So in this case here, we have a 3D print of the teeth and upper jaw of a T-Rex. It says the teeth were replaced in an alternating pattern. After a new tooth grew in, its neighbors were replaced as well. This prevented wide gaps, which would hamper the animal's feeding ability. So, of course, 3D print here, but you can see as each tooth would be replaced as a new one grew in. And here is a cast of the teeth and lower jaw of a T-Rex. It says the teeth were replaced about every 2 years over the animal's entire life. So every 2 years, it got new teeth. That's crazy. New teeth were already coming in before the old ones fell out, helping prevent long periods of missing teeth. These things are massive, though. Like, imagine this thing coming at you. I would say at full speed, but this thing only got up to about 12, 15 miles an hour, so you could probably not outrun it, but you could get far enough away. Maybe. I don't know. But that's really cool that they have this giant casting right here in the center. Right here is a timeline of the growth spurt of a T-Rex. We have 1-year-old down here to the left. We have a 4-year-old in the middle, and 20 years old, almost a full-grown adult. So, woo! I mean, even at 4 years old, that's still pretty wild. And here is another survival challenge. It says, you are a 4-year-old T-Rex hunting for prey. You encounter an ankylosaur. What do you do? We have attack. You're ready to take on larger prey. Head in the other direction. This dinosaur has armor like a tank. Or watch the ankylosaur closely, avoid the tail, and disable it with a strike quick to the unprotected legs. I want to go out on a limb here and say attack. You rush in and break your teeth on a bony armor, you'll have a hard time hunting for a few weeks. Okay. Cool. So this display right here is unfortunately rather interesting. It says, scientists long suspected the T-Rex could bite through bone thanks to fossils in its powerful skull and teeth. But now there's proof in its poop. Fossilized feces, or coprolites, contain many tiny chunks of bones eroded by stomach acid, revealing that the T-Rex was one of the rare species on Earth that could pulverize and digest solid bone. Over here, it says some T-Rex poop is 30 to 50% crushed bone. So, as Ian Malcolm said, that is one big pile of bone fragments inside this coprolite, or fossilized poop, have rounded edges revealing that they have been partially digested, evidence that the T-Rex could produce stomach acid capable of digesting bones. So that right there is T-Rex poo. How weird is that? Dude, like seriously? So this is a wall of relatives to the T-Rex. Some have feathers, some don't. But check out this big one right here. The Tarbosaurus is the biggest one out of all of those. So this talks about the eyesight of a T-Rex. And I don't know how well this is gonna work, but check this out. This is called human vision and dino vision. It's the same flower, that it would look different from a human to a T-Rex. And you see in there how it's bright yellow and whatnot. That's human vision. This is dino vision. A little bit more dull, not as much color to it. So this display here is pretty interesting. It's basically saying that T-Rex and modern day alligators and crocodiles have very similar jaws because they can pick up an egg or tiny hatchlings without harming it. So they have that soft tissue underneath the jawline. So I didn't know all that. But there's a little bit of a display right here that says see facial nerves on an alligator skull. So where it lights up right there, those are the nerves in an alligator skull. Right here we have casts of a Guanlong and a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull. The one on the left, the Guanlong, it says this early relative of T-Rex had the showiest head crest yet found on a Tyrannosaur. Too delicate for protection, it probably served to attract mates. Oh, interesting. And then right here is a partial piece of a T-Rex skull. It says rough patches behind the eyes appear to be attachment sites for hard carotidinous scales like the knobby bumps and ridges on a crocodile's head. So that would have been around the eye area. Both 3D prints, of course. Here's another survival challenge. It says you are a 20-year-old T-Rex. Your sensitive nose alerts you to a duck-billed dinosaur nearby. You're getting hungry. What do? Roar and run toward it, jaws gaping wide open. Freeze and listen, waiting for it to walk closer. Or you quietly circle the duckbill, staying out of sight in the trees. I like this one. You may be the strongest animal around, but you're not the fastest. The duckbill hears you coming and runs away. Oh, well darn. So right here is a display of skin impressions of the T-Rex. It says these fossil skin impressions from an adult T-Rex preserve scales on the neck, pelvis, and tail. As an adult, the body was probably covered with scales similar to those on crocodiles or the legs of birds. So you can see that little circle right there where scales probably could have been. Here is a little interactive experience where you can create your own T-Rex roar. Now, in Jurassic Park, did you know that they made up the T-Rex roar with, I believe, an elephant, a lion, and alligator noises? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But We're gonna see what this is. We can make it roar. That's a sea lion. You can kind of hear it. It's down here. It's nothing like the ones in the movies, but cool though. This here is a adult and hatchlings actual size. So there's a little baby T-Rexes that look like little birds, and then back behind the displays here is the adult. Go down here. Look how long this thing is. Sheesh. Take a look at the face. Man, look at that thing. That's even got the saliva coming out of it. That's wild. This wall here near the exit is pretty much saying, are there other dinosaurs bigger than the T-Rex? Yes, in fact, there was. And of course, the biggest one on the wall right here is the Spinosaurus, although I think it is rather close to the Giganotosaurus. So this is a little information on the Spinosaurus here. About 50 feet long, and it had a spiny back formed with a flat sail shape, of course. Flat, wide-spaced toes. It was about 100 million years ago, and it was shaped like a crocodile with long, narrow jaws, and it could breathe underwater. And we saw the unfortunate demise of a T-Rex in Jurassic World 3 to a Spinosaurus. However, in Jurassic World, the T-Rex got its revenge by crashing through the bones of a Spinosaurus at the end of the movie. So here is the Giganotosaurus that was also featured in Jurassic World Dominion, and it lived about 98 million years ago. And then Carcharodontosaurus is also about as big as a T-Rex. So yes, there were in fact other dinosaurs bigger than the T-Rex. I like how right here at the T-Rex skeleton cast, of course, they have shadows being cast of the T-Rex walking around here. Just see what it does. It's like going all over the place here. I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to be, but it's got a T-Rex and some smaller dinosaurs, and it's like walking around. I don't know if it's like some sort of interactive thing as to where it like could chase you, but there's like a little dinosaur down here. They're kind of just standing around. Oh, maybe it heard me. Oh man. As we approach the holiday season, I'd like to point out this T.REX here. It says, who is that dinosaur hiding in the tree? It has big bones, big head, and big feet. It has sharp teeth, perfect for crunching bones and eating meat. And look at its arms, so tiny, feathers and scales, so shiny. Who could it be? It's our very favorite big guy. Meet T.REX. But why does T.REX have colorful feathers and scales? Well, scientists don't really exactly know what the skin of a T.REX looked like. They have reason to think that they may have been brightly colored with leathery scales and possibly also with feathers on their arms, heads, and tails. So check out this Christmas tree. T.REX. Look at the little ornaments, T.REX ornaments and stuff. Very cool. All right, we're gonna check out some of the museum store merch they have here. Let's go in, see what we can find. Check out this dinosaur Christmas tree. It's got like a T-Rex at the top. It's got some stuffed animals all over the tree, dinosaurs. Dinosaur adventure right there, and some remote control T-Rex cars. They got some little plastic dinosaurs here. Little pterodactyl. Triceratops. We got a T-Rex here. We got some Apatosauruses, an Allosaurus, Dodecurus, sort of like an armadillo of sorts. There's a feathered velociraptor. Not like the ones that we're used to, but still cool though. We got some Stegosauruses down here. I may or may not pick up a T-Rex. I don't know how much they are. Oh, T-Rex is only $16.99. Kind of want one just for my shelf at home. We got some plushies right here. Plushie Stegosaurus. We got a Triceratops. We got a T-Rex here. And an Apatosaurus again. I really like the T-Rex ones. Cool. And just here, over on the other side, they got a Spinosaurus right here. We have a couple different versions of the T-Rex. This is a feathered version. As you can see, it's got like little ripples in it for the feathers and whatnot. But if I were to get one, it would be the regular T-Rex right here. That's really cool. Same ones as on the other side. Raptors, Triceratops, Stegosauruses, and whatnot. And this little feathered guy here, a feathered velociraptor is what it is. They got little necklaces here, Triceratops pendants. Pretty cool. We got some necklaces here. We have a velociraptor claw. It looks like, right here, looks like a Brachiosaurus, but I know it's an Apatosaurus. This little guy here. We have a tooth, maybe a T-Rex, like a sort of a T-Rex dog tag of sorts. What's this? Oh, that's cool. Another T-Rex dog tag, a tooth, T-Rex half claw of sorts, I guess. Some more claws and a tooth, and a chameleon colored dog tag. Oh, this is cool. They have like different size castings of the T-Rex skull that you can like put on display. This is a smallest size it looks like they have, and then here's a bigger size. I don't know, these are for sale. I think they are. Yeah, they are. I don't know about this one though. It could be. I don't want to lift it up. But here's the biggest size, and this guy right here is $429. It's super cool. I don't know that I would buy it. I might get a little one, but not today. And they also have a Triceratops casting right here, decoration as well. All right, so that, my friends, is Cosi, the T-Rex Ultimate Predator exhibit, and the dinosaur exhibit here. It has been fun. It's been educational. I got to see a lot of cool stuff, and I'm thankful that you guys have followed me around today. I greatly appreciate that. There's so much more to this place. Not only just the exhibits that I showed you, there's a whole museum of Cosi stuff, interactive experiences. It's geared more towards kids, but adults can come and hang out and have a good time too. Being with that said, the kid in me was super happy to see the dinosaurs today. Super cool. T-Rex is one of my favorite dinosaurs, although it does scare the living crap out of me. Seeing all that stuff, seeing the fossils, I recommend checking out the dinosaur exhibit at least. I know the T-Rex exhibit is here until March 2nd, so you have until March 2nd to get down here and check out the T-Rex area. with that being said, I think that's going to conclude today's video. All I can say is it's dinosaurs. Everybody loves dinosaurs. Well, mostly everybody. Everybody's seen Jurassic Park. Everybody knows about dinosaurs. So bring your kids, bring your family, come down and check it out. I highly recommend it as a Jurassic Park fan. It's fun. It was a little bit busier than I thought it would be today. It's midweek, today's Wednesday, and there's quite a few people. So I would suggest checking the internet to see what days would benefit you on coming in here and beating the crowd. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what your favorite dinosaur is, what your favorite Jurassic Park movie is, and we'll see you on the next one. Be safe, be kind, and as always, take care, guys.